It's time to start and grow a scalable, fulfilling bookkeeping business. Consider this your exclusive invitation into the Bookkeeping Business Accelerator VIP. We only open enrollment a couple times a year, and this 8-week cohort runs March 23rd through May 15th. And it is designed to accelerate the growth of your business without the overwhelm of figuring it out all alone. BBA is the only step-by-step online course plus group coaching program designed for experienced accountants and bookkeepers who want to launch and scale a successful virtual bookkeeping business with the accountability and support to make it happen. Maybe you're ready to stop working on someone else's dream and start building your own. Maybe you're ready to use your accounting experience to help small businesses, but you feel a little stuck. Should you be building a website first, marketing, pricing your services? Or maybe there's a fear of selling or worrying you won't know all the answers for your clients that's keeping you from getting started. Here's the truth. It does take commitment, but you don't have to waste months in research mode anymore, tinkering with tech or waiting for the perfect timing. You don't need more credentials. Let me say that again. You don't need more credentials. You need a clear path and someone to help you focus on what matters most at each step. And that's where BBA comes in. Inside of the program, you'll move through 3 key modules: design, where you structure your services, pricing, and business model to fit your goals; attract, learn how to bring in your perfect clients and sell naturally; and optimize, where you will streamline your workflows for scalability and efficiency. You'll also get access to our tech vault, where we have trainings on Xero, HubDoc, and other tools we use in our firm, plus a library of templates like month-end workflows, proposals, and engagement letters you can customize for your business. As a part of VIP, you have access to weekly hot seats, where you get coaching in a group setting every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, co-working sessions every Thursday at 2 p.m. or 9 a.m. Pacific, and a small supportive group to help you keep moving forward. For new enrollees of VIP for this cohort only, you also get access to me in a group Voxer between calls, and I've invited an alum of BBA to help co-coach with me, so she'll be hosting some of the calls as well. If you've been waiting for a mentor to help you cut through the noise, this is it. Doors open March 11th and close March 17th. So join us for our info session and meet the coaches on March 12th at 4 p.m. Pacific to see inside the program before enrollment closes and ask any questions of the coaches. Head over to ambitiousbookkeeper.com/VIP for all the details, call times, and bonuses. Let's build you a bookkeeping business that you love, one that supports your life and your goals, not someone else's. The link is also in the show notes. Now let's get into today's episode. AI is probably here to stay, so we've been testing it out inside of our firm, and I'm not just talking about using it for marketing and writing and all those other things. We're actually testing out the bookkeeping functions within the program we prefer to use, which is Xero. I'm Serena. I'm the founder and CEO at Of Course Financial, an online business accounting firm where we help e-commerce, online creatives, and consultants understand their numbers so they can grow their numbers and have massive impact. I'm also the founder and mentor at The Ambitious Bookkeeper, where we mentor and coach other bookkeepers and accountants. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the AI feature that is now built into Xero. Right now it's in beta, so you do have to opt in to be able to use it. But I'm going to talk about how it works, what it can do, what it cannot do, and what you should be doing still, even if you are using the built-in AI function. And what's really important to understand is a lot of people think AI can really take over the bookkeeping, and it still has a long ways to go, but there are some functionalities that are making our work more efficient, which we're always trying to find more ways to do things more efficiently so that we can spend our energy and time focused on actually adding value to clients rather than doing the mundane, repetitive tasks that no one really wants to do. Welcome to the Ambitious Bookkeeper podcast. So let's talk about Xero and its built-in AI function known as JAX. It's the acronym JAX for Just Ask Xero. And we're going to talk about how it works. So I've been doing my own research on this because I wanted to really understand how it works, what the security measures are, and all that good stuff before I actually started using it and implementing it across any clients. And as of right now, we have not implemented it across any of our actual clients. We're using it on our own books and my other companies. So I have 2 companies and I run them both on the Xero platform. I'm testing them out on my companies so that I can really understand how it functions and be able to alert my team and work through all of the issues that we see before we really roll it out to our clients. Not only that, but like I said, it's in beta right now. And in order to opt into it, you have to start the conversation with Jax. And at that point, it will start looking at your company's data and gaining insights from that. So let's talk about actually how it functions and how it will utilize that data if you are interested in activating Jax in your Xero file, or even if you're brand new to Xero, setting it up and implementing and using the AI function right away. So like I said, you have to opt into it. You will not be able to opt into it until you decide to start the conversation with Jax. And in a moment, I will show you on the screen what that looks like. Jax does not train on your business data, meaning the AI platforms that it uses, whether it's Microsoft, Amazon, or OpenAI, it does use large language learning models, but it will not learn on your data. It will use that model to process your data and answer your question or do whatever action you're asking it to, but it doesn't store your data and train the models across the sphere. The AI also sits inside of Xero, so it adheres to Xero's same security standards that it holds for its general cloud software. And this was a big question mark for a lot of people when we started transitioning to the cloud. What about security? So they are implementing the same security measures around their AI function as they do with the general data that is inside of Xero. They are SOC 2 compliant. They follow global standards for data protection. They are ISO 27001. I may not even be saying that how like the industry people say it, but those are the standards that they have. I've done the research. I've done my own due diligence, as should you. Anytime you implement a new software, whether it has AI or not, you need to know the level of security it adheres to before you start loading sensitive information into it. So that is how their AI platform works. I'm going to link the resources that I've gotten this information from in the show notes below this video so that you can actually do your own due diligence. But without further ado, let's jump over to the platform and I'm going to show you exactly how to use Jax, how to use the AI inside of Xero and what it can do. And then I'm going to show you how to double check things if you are using some of the features that does some of the work for you, and how to fix anything if you find errors. So let's go. All right, here we are on our homepage inside of Xero. This is the new layout where you can adjust all your widgets and everything. I'm not going to get into it on this video, but I will have another video available soon. If you're watching this later on, I'll link it above for you to learn how to use the new Xero layout and all of Xero. When you come onto your home screen, there's this little star-looking icon at the top where you're going to click on it. It's for Jax, Just Ask Xero. And I actually was playing around with it earlier to see what all it could do. So it does save your conversation history for that day. Here's what you can do with Jax. You can use this to have a conversation with it and find out information within your business or about your customers, about your vendors, things like that. You can also utilize Jax within the bank reconciliation. So I'm going to go into one of our bank accounts that I know I have it turned on. I don't have it turned on every account. And that's because of our specific workflows that we perform. We always start with HubDoc, we process the documents, and then we come into Xero to match them. So if we were to have auto bank reconciliation turned on, the AI bank reconciliation feature turned on within the accounts where we know we're going to need to be matching bills and receipts that we're forwarding from HubDoc, it might screw things up. I haven't tried that yet. I was afraid of turning that on. So on a few accounts, we don't have it turned on. So all the accounts that we actually pay money out of, we don't. We do have it turned on for our income accounts where money is coming in, and Stripe and PayPal and things, because it's very predictable and we know it's just money coming in, mostly, not money going out. So I'm going to go into one of the accounts I know I have it turned on with, and it looks like it's already reconciled. See, it has this green reconciled check mark. And so I'm going to go in there and actually double check what has been done. So I'm going to go view transactions, and it should always be reconciled if you have the auto bank reconciliation feature on for the most part. When you go to this reconcile tab, you also have this at the top of your screen where it shows how many line items were reconciled in the last 30 days and how many of them were auto reconciled. So then you can click on view all reconciled. You can adjust your settings in that screen. And when you come to this screen where we're at, it will show you and give you the opportunity to remove any errors. And it shows you the methodology it uses. So we have rules set up, and this is why those transactions were categorized properly, because we have rules set up based on the bank description and the price point and all these other things. So if you already have bank rules set up, the auto reconciliation feature will look to those first. If there isn't a bank rule set up, it will look to where you've previously coded things and go by memory. So that's where it shows the method is memory here. And then if you keep scrolling down, it's pretty much pulling memory for all the bank transfers. And so in this screen, you can actually see what the reference was from the bank account, what the transaction description is going to be, the new payee or whatever, and then the document type and the account code. And this is the part that's really important that you need to pay attention to. Obviously, these others are also important, but this is where it's going to show up on your P&L in the right or wrong bucket. So if it is perhaps in the wrong bucket, what you can do is click remove and redo and then code it yourself. You can also adjust the columns that are available. So if you want to make sure that there's a check number, if you use checks, if you want to see any other information that could possibly be available. It looks like this note column would probably be useful in this instance because it's showing what's coming through on the bank feed as the description. So I'm going to leave that on for future reference. And if you want to skim through and look through things, you can do that. And then when you're okay with it, you can X out of that. And then it seems like it's doing a good job. So that's how you would double check your auto bank reconciliation. And up here is where you would turn it on for the account. So you have to go into each account that you have and turn it on or off. I'm going to cancel that because I want to leave that one on. Now, the next step that you have to make sure that you do after you let the AI reconcile your bank accounts is actually reconcile your. I will link that video here so you can go learn how to do that process. But now let's get into what else Jax can do for us. We can actually have Jax look up information from the web as we are reconciling or coding other transactions if we need to. We can ask it to search the web for this particular vendor so that we know how to code it. I did also ask if it could look inside of Xero to see if we had previously coded it somewhere. It really struggled with that one, so that's still going to be a manual process for now where we use the lookup feature and we just search the vendor name. And so for this instance, I was using Kajabi as an example again. And so if you search up the vendor here, you can drill down into it or look at a previous transaction, just open a new tab and see where it had been coded. But if it's a new vendor, it's really helpful to be able to, within Xero, not have to open another window and Google something and then kind of sift through the results. You can just say, hey, I have a new vendor here. What kind of company is this and where should it be coded? What services do they provide? And so it was able to pull the general information from the web. You can direct it to search from the web or within Xero. And it pulled up the name, where they're headquartered, who the CEO was, and what their business model and revenue streams are. So this is really helpful to know their revenue streams, because now I know this is a subscription, a software subscription, because it's a SaaS platform. So this is going to be a really helpful feature for bookkeepers. If you are doing your own books, you should know what your vendors are and where they should be coded. But this might also help you in case you're like, I don't know where I should code this. The next thing you can use Jax for is financial insights. So you can come here to use Jax and ask it to look for information within your own business, or you can also use it within the reporting feature. So let's pop over there real quick. So you are going to go to reporting and dashboards, and this will bring you to the SIFT analytics dashboard, where you can actually ask it to interpret the information for you. It's a really cool feature. I'm going to do a whole nother video on SIFT analytics later on, but you can even get fortnightly predictions. This is when the UK and Australia versions of Xero really shine through, because here in the US, we don't really use the word fortnight. And then you can look at benchmarks as well. So once you're in your dashboard, you can arrange it however you want. Like I said, there's going to be a future video about this. But below each widget, it gives you this little Get AI Insights. So you can click on that and it will explain to you what these numbers really mean. And so this is a really cool feature for business owners who maybe can't afford to work with a bookkeeper to give them these insights, or maybe you are already a little bit more financially savvy, you enjoy this kind of stuff. You can come straight here and learn about your business. Now let's jump over to another feature that you can do with Jax, and that is invoicing. So I'm going to come back to this tab where I already have Jax open. So I'm going to ask it, can you create an invoice for, of course, bookkeeping, to charge them for shared software? So this is a real thing that I do. I have this company, and then I have my accounting business, and they're each on separate Xero files. And so occasionally I will pay for something through one business and invoice my other business for it. So now Jax is asking me, could you please provide the details for the invoice, such as the description, the amount, the quantity, and the currency? All right, so the description is export my data. Amount is 100 USD. Quantity is 1. And I think that's it. Please make the invoice due upon receipt. Let's see how it does. It says it's setting up my invoice. Now the invoice has been created. Awesome. And it gives you the link where you can review it, but it does ask if you would like me to approve this invoice so it can be sent to the customer. I'm just going to click on it and see how it turned out. This is that process where we review things before we trust them, just like we would with a human being. If I had someone else coming into my business to take over this type of task, I would want them to create the invoice in draft mode and let me review it and approve it first. So I'm going to do the same thing with AI. I'm not just going to give it the reins until I fully trust it. So looks like the contact is correct. The issue date is today. The due date still comes up as March 23rd. It didn't change that. It should have changed that, but this is probably because I have a default due date for this customer. Let's see. It's got the description correctly, and it's coding it to due from OCB, which is previously where I would have coded it, but now I'm going to code it to client software because that's where it hit. So I'm just going to have it basically reverse it out. It all looks good at that point. So if I was happy with it, as you can see, it's still in draft. You can approve and email it right away. You can approve it, or you can approve and text it, or approve and add another. So I'm just going to save it and close it for now. I might want to come back to this. Let's see what else Jax can do. Can it look up information about open invoices? Which, spoiler alert, I think it can. So I'm going to just test it out. and open it back up. Can you tell me what all invoices are still open and due? All right, so it gives me a little table. It looks like there's just one, and it shows the days overdue, and it gives the link and the amount and all that good stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty cool feature. Let's see how it does with quotes. Can you create a quote for a new customer? So all of these conversations that I'm having with it, you can actually have via email or text message or WhatsApp. So I haven't played around with those, but I do know that there's some things that you have to do to activate all of that and verify it. But essentially, if you're having a conversation with a customer via email and there's a lot of back and forth and you want to create a quote from that email thread, you can then send that entire email thread to Jax and have it create a quote. So it's asking me for more information, as it should. It needs a customer name, a description of the product or service, the quantity, the unit price and currency, and then any additional notes or terms for the quote. So these are some of the cool things that you can do with Jax. The one last thing that I don't think we talked about was using it for help. So there's this question mark where you can just search the help documentation for information that you need, or you can ask Xero to give you information. So one of the things that I was looking up earlier that I went directly to the help documentation for was information about how secure their AI is and how that whole process works. So I'm just going to ask Jax and see what it says. Can you give me information on how Jax works? What kind of security does it have? And where is it pulling data from? Let's see how honest it is. All right, so it says, here's an overview of how Jax works, its security and where it pulls data from, what it can do, its security, data sources, and then it links out to the actual resources. So there you have it. That is what you can basically do with Jax inside of Xero as of right now when this video is recorded in beta. It's March 2026. I will try to stay up to date and keep you all updated on the developments with Jax. And if you are a bookkeeper or an accountant, they've rolled out some cool features to be able to use Jax overall across all of your clients to gain insights. So that's pretty cool. I'll be doing a video of that, and if it's ready, it'll be linked here. If you are brand new to Xero, I highly encourage you to head over and check out my Xero playlist. That is also going to be linked where you're watching this video. In summary, there's some really cool features that you can be using to speed up your bookkeeping process, but it still requires quite a bit of oversight. So if you are a small business owner, if you are in the online space, if you're an online creator or e-commerce brand and you want help with your bookkeeping, please reach out to me. We are at ofcoursefinancial.com. You can also comment below this video. And if you are a bookkeeper or an accountant and you are interested in starting your own virtual bookkeeping business, whether or not you use Xero, I can help you. Please head on over to ambitiousbookkeeper.com and check out what we have going on. Thank you to everyone who helps make this podcast possible. Content and interviews are produced by me, Serena Shu. Our intro and outro music is written and performed by my brother, Ian Gilliam. Editing is also by Ian using his awesome sound engineering skills along with Descript software. Hosting and publishing is by Buzzsprout, and you can check out the show notes for links to all of these amazing resources and resources mentioned in the episode.
Be ambitious.